I'm actually very excited by. I'm slightly inspired by, and I think I can relate a lot to him. He is the recipient of the Best Ph.D. Student Award 2018 from the Nuffield Department of Medicine, University of Oxford. Please welcome onto the Sunday show, Mr. Fazle Rabbi Chowdhury. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Although you are a clinician, so technically I should be calling you doctor. So you are very, very interesting. You've achieved so much in your career, both here and in Bangladesh. So let's start off with a small biography of how you started up, what you're doing now.
Thank you very much. Thanks to the Channelers family for inviting me, and good wishes for the viewers. So as you said, I'm a medic. I graduated from Khulna Medical College, and afterwards I did a master's in tropical and infectious disease from Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine. And then I started my clinical training. I finished my training in internal medicine. I did my fellowship in Bangladesh, and subsequently I got interested in research. I then joined at Oxford University in 2016. So it's my third year now, and I'm about to finish hopefully next year. Yeah. Writing time is going on.
Oh wow. Okay. So, what's your research on? What are you doing?
So I'm I'm doing a research in with the gram-negative bacteria. It's called Burkholderia. It's a complicated name. It gives you a disease called melioidosis. It's a soil-borne pathogen. So I'm looking on how our body's immune system, particularly a cell of our body's immune system, behave against that bug when you get infection. So basically my findings hopefully will guide future researchers for potential vaccine research in future, because that bug is a bioterrorism organism as well. So vaccine is a demanding field for that
and
disease.
Is this disease prevalent in Bangladesh?
Yeah, so it is prevalent in Southeast Asia.
Okay.
We don't really know the picture of Bangladesh yet.
Okay.
I did a review with my supervisor, and we found 49 culture confirmed cases so far from Bangladesh, but it's the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
And we believe that it's a potential problem for Bangladesh, because as I said, it's a soil-borne pathogen. So we have 65% agricultural workers, farmers there, and they are doing their work without proper health safety. So it's very easy to get that infection.
It's probably going undetected as well.
Exactly.
So you are also we're both in the same infectious diseases
I got
field.
to know that.
So that's really interesting. So why did you want to go into doing a PhD here in Oxford?
Okay, it's a long story because probably you know that clinicians in Bangladesh don't really have interest in research. It's not their it's not against their will actually, because Bangladesh is a highly populous country, and clinical service is our priority because we have lack of doctors and nurses. So research is not a priority issue. But I was actually very lucky to get a few teachers who were very interested in research, and they ignited me. I must have to take some few names, like Professor AFM Saiful Islam of pharmacology. When I was a fourth year medical student, he inspired me a lot. Professor Najmul Ahsan of medicine, Professor M.A. Faiz, they were actually my mentor, and they inspired me. They motivated me that yes, as a clinician, you also need to be involved with research, because if you don't translate your work from bench to field, it's not going to happen. And we are interested.
I think also the field is changing constantly, so you need to be up and coming with your research to be able to practice that.
Yes, and as a clinician, we are handling the cases.
Yes.
So if we also get involved in research, we probably can do it in a better way.
Okay. So I've actually looked at your resume, and I've seen you've published over 60 papers. And that's almost amazing.
Thank
that's
you.
really great. So what would you say is your biggest accomplishment in terms of publishing?
I have also interest in pesticide poisoning as well.
Okay.
So I did quite a lot of work on pesticide poisoning. I did.
What is pesticide poisoning?
It's it's pesticide which we use in field. So in Bangladesh, people used to take it as a tools of suicide. So under pressure, under mental stress and other conditions. So people used to drink it and come to the hospital. So I have interest on pesticide poisoning. I successfully did a clinical trial. I tried salbutamol in pesticide poisoning. I published a paper in International Journal of Epidemiology, which is quite good impact journal, and I showed that a good policy can curtail death. So in Bangladesh in 2000, government took a policy where they banned all the WHO category 1 pesticides, which mostly do the harm. So after banning that pesticide, by comparing before and after 2000, I showed that because of that legislation, the mortality is gradually goes down. So that was a landmark paper of mine, which grabbed quite good attention in Bangladesh.
Good, excellent.
And also I got interested in tropical immunology. So I did with my supervisor, I did the melioidosis review from Bangladesh. That was the first published review, which covered all the culture confirmed cases since 1960 to so far.
Interesting. So in terms of someone, because I know we were discussing this earlier, it's very rare that we see someone from our community, whether they be male or female, breaching these barriers in clinical research or scientific research, getting a PhD or being interested in doing a PhD. If someone out there who wants to follow on through how you're sort of following on through doing a PhD, what tips would you give them? What would you say?
Yeah, from a medical background, it's always difficult to take a decision, really. So if anyone wants to take a PhD, I think his internship is very important. During his or her internship, they can take decision that which specific field they are interested in. Because you can't do a PhD in medicine or you can't do a PhD in surgery. So you have to be very focused. So it's good that if you can identify your interest first, and then after doing graduation, if you can do a master's, which will further expose you in the field of real research, then you can take a decision for a PhD. Funding is also an issue for the Bangladeshi students, but Bangladesh government is now funding a lot. So I came through Commonwealth Scholarship, but now I can tell that there are Prime Minister's Fellowship, Bangabandhu Fellowship. Even the universities are giving their departmental scholarship. They can try Erasmus Mundus scholarship. And another thing is they should not focus in a single country. Like good research is going many places in the world. They can also try Japan, USA, any country in the Europe.
Many different countries in Europe.
So there are plenty of opportunities. They just need to focus themselves that which area they are interested in, and they have to pick that up.
That's good. That's really good advice. So let's talk a bit more about your Best PhD Student Award. So what did you do to get this award? What was the main focus for this?
So the department chose me for my melioidosis in Bangladesh work. It's given by the Nuffield Department of Medicine every year. So I have got that for year 2 performance. So since starting of my PhD, I published 4 papers already. So and the department also acknowledged that the work I did in Bangladesh. So last year I went to Bangladesh with a small project where I tried to look on the etiology of fever. And I disseminate the issue of melioidosis among the internists, the microbiologists. I set up a culture-based small etiology study, which was very difficult because, as I said, it's not a priority research. So I negotiated with them. I set up the study. I sensitized the internists, the microbiologists. I trained them up a little bit. I made a link between Oxford and Dhaka Medical College and Burdham Hospital. So all those work, the department really liked that because capacity development in a country like ours, like in Bangladesh or the South Asia, is not easy. So they basically acknowledged my struggle. They also acknowledge the review I did on melioidosis,
Yeah.
because that's the first breakthrough paper
Okay.
where future researchers can use that as a baseline information
Yeah.
to focus further on.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so
I know how important reviews are for when you're trying to learn a big bunch of information about something.
Yeah.
The best place you can go is to a review, and I'm sure many people
Yeah,
will use your
so
review for
altogether,
that.
I think department was quite.
I know the department
Happy
was.
was
You got
happy
the
with
award.
that.
Congratulations on that.
Oh,
That's
thank
obviously
you.
a big
Thank you
feat
very much.
for you to get that. That's obviously great. So let's talk a little bit more about your future. So what's your future plans? What do you see yourself doing after the whole write-up process and the viva and everything?
Yeah, so I've got a job in Bangladesh. I joined in Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib Medical University last March as an assistant professor in internal medicine. So Bangabandhu Medical University is the center of excellence in Bangladesh. The institute is a postgraduate institute, and it gives you plenty of opportunities for research. So I'm very lucky to be an academic of that institute. So my plan is to resume my position.
Excellent, yeah.
And I will try to form my own group.
Yeah.
I will pursue with the university to establish a lab for tropical and infectious disease research.
Yeah.
I will try to incorporate more graduate students into there, and try to address some good research questions.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's really great to see you staying in the whole research field.
Yeah, and the training I got from Oxford, because I also got an opportunity to do clinical observership in the hospital. So I know how first world medicine works. I have the experience of third world medicine. Yeah. So I can really transfer the clinical service as well to my university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're very well rounded in that aspect, where you have all four corners of the picture, and you're able to use all of that to
hopefully
to
I will
progress forward. That's great. So from your PhD experience, what would you say has been the highlight so far?
Oxford is a nice city. It's quite medieval, and I'm here with my family. That's really, I mean, they really enjoyed the time.
Yeah.
I got to know many wonderful personalities in the field of infectious disease. I'm very grateful to my supervisors.
Yeah.
So I hope that the link and the collaboration will continue with Oxford in future.
Yeah.
Oxford has a unit in Thailand, Mahidol Oxford Research Unit.
Yeah.
So I think the best part is to get to know many talented personalities in the field of infectious disease.
Yeah.
Getting the best training, research training, learning so many techniques, and making new friends, which could be really important in terms of networking after going back.
Of course, very important.
And I like the city as well. It's quite. I will miss Oxford really.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they would always welcome you back.
Hopefully,
with open
I have
arms.
a good connection now.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show today. It's been such a pleasure.
My pleasure.